Guys, if you've been outside there and you have not felt the bad, all the level at which the Glazers are really a toxic substance or specimen at Manchester United, this is a story you need to really pay a lot of attention to see to it that you get fed up of these guys. One of the best forwards in the world, Marcus Rashford, is holding to put pen to paper on his newly proposed contract. Do you know why? Because of the Glazers, and is waiting for the future of United to be secured. Meaning that if at all the future of United doesn't get secured, are we going to find ourselves losing out on Marcus Rashford? That's what we're going to tackle into this segment, as Robin Van Persie has also come out and really told us what has really made Marcus Rashford what he is right now, and his anticipation for Marcus Rashford as far as the season is concerned. Then Antony has been advised by Dimitar Berbatov, a former United player, on what to do to make himself better at Manchester United. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Some updates. Sabitzer has scored for Austria. Yeah, he has scored the first goal, I think around, was it in the 26th minute? That's when he really fired it in. And remember, by the time he left Manchester United, he had just scored a goal for us against Fulham, and that shows you how good this player is. But for a little bit of Sabitzer, I'm a little bit of puzzled and worried that we might find ourselves in a competition that we are not prepared for. Do you know why? Nagelsmann is heading to Spurs. Nagelsmann is the manager who took, no, I think he found I think it's the one who took him to Bayern Munich, and looks like, though he was not using him at Bayern Munich but at Spurs, he might be of a usage to the manager known as Nagelsmann. So I think we need to find ourselves in a better position of really getting the deal of Sabitzer done, and that's if we want him to start the club of Manchester United, because if we don't, Spurs can capitalize onto that and would have gone ahead to make them a leveled ground for them to operate into the Premier League with Sabitzer, because he has gotten the Premier League experience under Manchester United, and I think he's a midfielder that you wouldn't like to lose, because he's a versatile player that would love to be having into your team. Now, let's leave it at that. We all know that Marcus Rashford is left with 1 year, or is going to be left with 1 year on his contract come the 30th of June. He'll be left with 1 year on his contract. United have tabled a deal for Marcus Rashford of close to £300,000 a week, and Rashford has delayed to put pen to paper. Do you know why? The Sun has really told us this story that is really so much touching. Marcus Rashford is ready to wait and see what Manchester United's new owners put on the table before committing to a new contract. The red-hot England egg, 25 years of age, has only 1 year on his current deal left at the end of the season. That is it. We all know that. Now, listen to this. The Glazers have been trying to get him on a new one since early in this campaign. Understandably, Rashford's camp will not want to know what the second main prospective new owners, Sheikh Jassim Al-Thani and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's, have to offer when they take charge. So, this is a sign of not having hope in the Glazers. And, you know, we have fun channels. We come out and say these things, and these players watch these channels. Trust me, they watch these channels. And how do they get to know the reality feel of the fans of United? By watching these fun channels. And when you look at Marcus Rashford, he knows exactly what the Glazers have taken us through. You get? If you want to get the perfect feel of the fans, then you must have touch to these channels, the fun channels, because I know of some players who have gone ahead to come out and really attack us because of the way we react to them. And to me, at the beginning of the season, I was one of those people that really said, if Rashford doesn't want to be at Manchester United, let him go. Let him go. But the good thing is that he proved us wrong and right, that he wants to start the club and is firing in goals. But as it stands, you wouldn't like to really let Rashford go. Teams like Barcelona, PSV, Real Madrid, trust me, any team in the world right now would love to take Marcus Rashford. Why? He's at his prime, 25 years of age. He still has like some good 7 seasons in him. He's not an injury-prone player. He's scoring in goals, and remember, he's scoring in goals for a team that doesn't have its number 9. That is Anton Martial. Out of the very many games United has played, Martial is now averaging 30 games that he's gonna hate to miss as a United player. So that boils into two, that if at all Marcus Rashford was playing with Anton Martial, he would have gotten himself on target a lot of times. Do you know why? A lot of attention, the attention would have been divided, but right now all the teams coming in to stop Marcus Rashford. That's it. So if at all Anton Martial is available, then it will be very easy for Marcus Rashford to get space for him to operate. And you've seen it in very many games when they play together that Marcus Rashford finds himself on target very many times, because the way Anton Martial expresses himself on the ball, the way he really falls deep into the midfield, gets that ball, and then gets those line-breaking passes through to Marcus Rashford, and Rashford really gets the finishing. But Rashford doesn't trust the Glazers anymore. He doesn't, and he just doesn't want to put pen to paper when the Glazers are still here. And I'm worried that if at all the Glazers stay here, Rashford might say, all right, let me play the remaining of my contract and leave, because I can't trust the future of this club with the Glazers. Remember, Rashford right now has tested the level of being a top player and what it brings to your career. You get? He knows that he can score 40, 50 goals a season. You get? And why does he have to stay at the club that is not willing to spend and bring in players of good quality alongside him? And I think Rashford wants to make his decision to put pen to paper. One, when we get in new owners, and secondly, who is Erik ten Hag going to be given as new signings? Because for Ten Hag, he wants a striker, world class, either Victor Osimhen, Harry Kane, Benjamin Šeško, Goncalo Ramos, Dusan Vlahovic, one of those. He wants two midfielders. He wants a right back, he wants a goalkeeper, he wants a right-footed central defender. That is Erik ten Hag for you. So Rashford is seated down there saying, all right, I'm waiting to see what's happening at Manchester United. And I think this is not only not only the player at Manchester United that is really looking and really studying the situation on how it's going to be post the season ending. Luke Shaw, Fred, Diego Dallo, David De Gea. We're having close to 5 players whose contracts need to be really extended, and Ten Hag wants them to be extended. But I think these players are uncertain of what the situation is going to be at Manchester United, and they don't want to put pen to paper. And obviously, even Rashford has a third thought in him that the manager that has made me look this good is Erik ten Hag. How am I sure that Erik ten Hag is going to be in tune with the new owners of the club? So this takeover stuff is acting as a big burden to the future of these players. That's it. You get? It's acting as a burden. And I really back Rashford on this, because he has found himself back from his worst season ever. He scored 5 goals last season. This season is having 27 goals, and is having close to 13, 14, 15 games to play towards the end of the season. So it shows you how he might find himself scoring close to 40 goals a season. So I believe that Rashford is right. You can't trust the Glazers. And if at all such things start happening, the Glazers will start to know that, all right, we need to sell this club early enough. And if the Glazers were really having a sporting positive drive to take it to the next level, they would have seen themselves sell this club off before the end of March. But hear it out. We are coming to the end of March. The second bids have just arrived in on Thursday and Friday. They are going to need 10 days to talk to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sheikh Jassim Al Thani of the Qataris. And that takes us to the first week of April. So, rumors say they might find themselves calling in for third bid. So, it shows you that this process might be elongated until May. how are we going to find ourselves in a position of talking to the players? Because right now, teams that want to sign players in the summer transfer window have already identified those players. They are talking to the representatives, they are talking to their agents, they are talking to the players themselves. They are also starting to talk to the teams that are willing to sell those players. You get? So, we are some 6, 7, 10 steps behind from the teams that we are going to compete with next season. Man City knows the player they are going to sign. Trust me. Pep knows the player he wants to sign. That's it. For Arsenal, I even saw Edu at the London Football Awards saying that we are already prepared. We have already identified our summer transfer targets. You get? Liverpool the same. They've identified them. The only thing they're not having is the money. Chelsea has to identify them, but Manchester United has not. It shows you that we are some steps behind from our enemies, meaning that they might get in the players would have gotten because of the Glazers delaying this to happen. So to me, I really feel okay for Rashford. He shouldn't be forced to put pen to paper on the contract unless otherwise the Glazers are really thrown out. And that really helps him to know the future of the club, meeting the new owners, what are you putting on the table, lots of things, because Rashford knows that if at all he can get in 40 goals a season, then a striker gets us like 30. That only form puts us in a position of winning the league and competing into the Champions League, and is fed up of being a participant. And I think for the very first time, Rashford has seen United compete for 4 trophies in a season, because that had never happened. That had never happened ever since Rashford made his debut around, it was 2016, I remember. I think it was around Feb, not so, when he scored a brace against Midtjylland. So I believe that he is having a point in him. So after that, Robin van Persie, a player we bought from Arsenal, has come out and really issued his stand on Marcus Rashford and views. He said he broke through from a very early age. Everyone knew how good of a player he was, and still, of course. But now you see that everything clicks, and that is partly down to him, but as well a coach, and as well your teammates. That's Van Persie. Then he said, if you look at the connection between Rashford with Bruno Fernandes, for example, that is something unique. You only have that connection with a few players through your career, and he has that now. He's like going from strength to strength. And obviously, this is something that you need to go ahead and really, really hail, because Rashford and Bruno are really loving one another, and the only missing piece into that trio to become complete is Anton Martial. I remember that season where Martial scored 23 goals and Rashford scored 22. That was the season of 2019-2020. Those 3 were really on fire. I think Bruno fired in like 16 goals that season. So those 3 were really on fire. And Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, and Martial have an understanding that is based on quality. That's it. They read each other's move like a book, and they don't miss out on oneself, apart from Marcus Rashford, who's really selfish, and Bruno sometimes is selfish. But each and every time they're playing alongside Martial at the focal point or leading the pinnacle, oh my God, it's always nice. So I think Van Persie was really spot on onto that connection that Rashford has with Bruno Fernandes. Then we are having Van Persie said, from a coach's point of view, it looks really fun to work with a player like Rashford, but it goes both ways. I'm sure Rashford is really happy with Erik Ten Hag, and obviously Ten Hag has gone ahead to let us know that we haven't yet seen the best of Marcus Rashford, and the best of Marcus Rashford is yet to come. That's what Ten Hag really had to tell us about Marcus Rashford, and we are really waiting for the best of Marcus Rashford to come, because Ten Hag said he expects to get more from this player known as Marcus Rashford, and that really sounds like music to the ears of United fans, because if Rashford can get better, that means he can be in that level of scoring 50 goals a season. If you're having Rashford with 50, Martial or Victor Osimhen gets you 30, Bruno gets you like 20, that means you can win the Premier League and really take these trophies. So to me, I see this as something great for a team of Manchester United, and I find it so much important that it's being recognized by people outside the club. Then Van Persie said You now see Rashford's growing. He's confident with him. You know, almost every game he plays, it doesn't matter against who, that he will score a goal or be decisive in most matches. And obviously, he has been so much decisive in almost every big game we've won. You get that of Liverpool at Old Trafford, he scored the second goal. That of Man City, he scored the winning goal at Old Trafford. That of Arsenal, he put a brace past them because the game was 1-1 and scored those 2 goals that really gave us a healthy and commanding lead against Arsenal. Against Barcelona away from home, you saw what he did, and against very many other teams. So I think he's turning into that player that is unstoppable, and Van Persie is noticing it and really giving him the credit that he really deserves. Let's go to the Brazilian Antony. Antony is one of those players, very much talented. Paul Scholes referred to him as one-trick pony, but Dimitar Berbatov really believes in the player. And this is what Dimitar Berbatov had to go ahead and really say about Antony. He can improve a lot more because he's great talent with great qualities, and he scores great goals as well. To me, I think, sorry about that, I think Antony is that kind of player whom you always love to be having in your team, you know, especially if you're having a competitor alongside him. If next season we can get back Ahmad, I think he can give him a run for that position. You see, even Persie has really given him a run for his position. In the game of Fulham, when he came on through, you saw to it that he was really making quick decisions. He was not holding onto the ball a lot, as he usually does. So I think it's a given that he's going to thrive under Erik ten Hag, but he needs a competitor to get him off that comfort zone because he's talented and skilled. He can take off players anytime he feels like he wants, but the big problem comes in through when he finds himself in positions of not releasing that ball quick enough and making that decision that we've always been calling in for at Manchester United. So Antony, I believe in him, but I think we need either Mason Greenwood or Amad Diallo to return. When they return, that means Antony will know that I'm having a competitor of this position. If at all I don't deliver on the field of play, Ten Hag as an option. And Ten Hag, I trust him. You defy his orders when he's having another all-favorable option on the bench. He takes you off the field of play and goes ahead to do the needful. That really makes him a better coach and win the game of football. So that's my manager, Erik ten Hag. We know that Brazil has announced that Casemiro is their captain, permanent captain. That means Thiago Silva has been dethroned off the captaincy of Brazil and Casemiro has taken over. Now, Casemiro has spoken out for the very first time as the Brazilian captain that I know I'm one of the leaders of the group and I have the freedom to speak within the group. Whoever the captain, the leaders, them experienced, have the freedom to speak. Respect on the pitch is earned. And obviously, he has gone ahead to earn it. He has worked for it. And I believe that he's that kind of player that everyone is going to come out and really reckon with at the side of Brazil. So guys, thank you very much for watching it through. Tell me your thoughts about Glazers holding Rashford back, because Rashford believes that he should be putting pen to paper, but feels like the Glazers are really hopeless and he can't really commit himself to a club that has the Glazers as its owners. Then Antony, advised by Berbatov that he can become a big player. What do you think about it? And obviously Casemiro and Van Persie speaking about Marcus Rashford. I sign out for now. See you later, and may the Lord bless you abundantly. For the Muslims, enjoy your holy month of Ramadan. I sign out for now. See you later, my beautiful mates. I'm out.